Hello, this is Kara from Kara Tarot with the general reading for Saturday, July 19th, 2025. I'm using two decks today, Peculiar Pathways combined with Libro de Thoth by Etteilla. And I'm going to be using a 3x3 spread by Marilyn from Tarot Clarity, and then it expands, and I'll explain that in a bit. I'll start seeing if I can get these cards to fit in. I may have to adjust this a little bit. Yeah, still not fitting very well. Well, I'll move these up when I get to them so that we can see them better. So this is the world, and this is the sun, and this is the Knight of Swords. So I'm going to pause here and do my addition to get my Quint cards here. Okay, I'm back with the Quint cards placed. And the way that Marilyn adds these up is court cards don't count. So this is the Tower, the Temple Foudre, but it isn't the normal number in this deck. So this is 19 and this is 6. So that's 25. So that's 7. 7 is also not the normal card in this deck. This is the day, one of the days of creations, the day of les oiseaux, and the birds and the fish, the creation of the birds and the fish. So right away, things are different with a Libro de Thoth, and I've talked about that before in other deck videos. So because now these do have card numbers, but because these are obviously the 5 of Wands and the 4 of Wands, I was able to use that, that 9 and 7 is 16, 1 and 6 is, 16. It's not the Chariot. Hold on. When the number is less than 22, you just use the higher number major. So I didn't combine the 1 and 6 to get 7. I kept it 16. And that is the Tower again. And now we have the Tower showing up twice. And that showed up for me yesterday, if you remember. Okay, and now the World and the Sun, and we don't count the Knight of Swords because we don't count court cards. So we have 21 and 19, and so that's 40, and that's 4, reduces to 4, because it's over 22, we reduce that to 4, but it's not the Emperor because, again, different deck, different numbering for the majors. This is actually the equivalent of the Star. Big change. And I'm going to go ahead and get my final card too, just to go ahead and complete all my addition. So the Quint cards are added up to get the final card. So the Quint cards add up to 27, and 2 plus 7 is 9. So our outcome card is the Hermit. Let's see if I can slide all this over a tiny bit. And so now we just, first of all, I kind of do, with this, I like to do just an overview. We have several majors predominant. And of course, we have 2 towers, which we can't ignore. Um, we have coins, wands. We don't have any cups in this. So if this is a general, more coins. So 2 coins, two swords, no, 1 sword and 3 wands. And no cups. So not an emotional day. We have 3 wands, so creativity, coins, and let's look at what they are. First of all, let's remember in the center of our 9 card spread, we have the 7 of coins. Isn't this a beautiful representation? This is the peculiar pathways. We have these turtles and dragonflies and a bird and the harvest sign here with all the lush greenery. The 7 of coins, one of my favorite cards, which you probably know by now. I think of the 7 of coins, as I've said, as that moment when you pause in the middle of a big job, when you kind of finish one part of it, you take a break and you survey the whole landscape. And you say, you appreciate what's been done well, you kind of take stock of what still needs to be done, and then you look over the whole thing and kind of assess, does this fit in with the way I was planning to do it in the first place? And this is that time when you evaluate and make adjustments before you continue your work. So you're not done, but it's just kind of a place in the middle. Now, this is bounded on each side by the 4 of Wands and the 5 of Wands. The 5 of Wands is kind of disagreements, but if you want to look at this in terms of past and future, it's we're moving from this time of either practice or disagreement into the 4 of Wands, which is great. We're not looking at this part right now. We're looking at our major 9 cards. So this time of evaluation is leading you to a wonderful time here. And let's look up here. We have the tower, the temple, the misery, and the temple that is collapsing, bordered by the 6 of coins, great generosity, looking towards the past, and the Queen of Wands, who showed up yesterday, looking towards the future. And so she's not particularly concerned with this. So this may be something, at least according to these cards, this may be something that has already happened. Balance has been taken. This was kind of corrected. So that would be the jobs that have happened in line with that. And she's looking forward now with her creative mindset, her intelligence, her individuality. She's looking forward. Before we say what she's looking forward to, let's move down here. So we have the Knight of Swords, the most impetuous of the knights, the one who likes to just jump right in. I heard a wonderful description. One of my friends on Instagram said that she thinks of the knights as these are the people that are in the cards that are attempting to do the impossible. So if this is the Knight of Swords, he's air, conversation, jumping right into conversations, trying to convince other people probably, and when it's pretty impossible to convince them. We have the World here, which is a real sense of completion. So between the towers and the World, I'm getting a sense that we're coming to a time when something is reaching completion. And this looks like a time of a little turmoil with your torn spider web here. And the Knight of Swords, wanting to dive right in and convince people of things and get into those heated conversations. None of us have had any of those lately. And he's in relationship with this here. So here we have the taking the balance in relationship with this, again, either practice or fighting, play fighting, or squabbles with the world. So that's kind of completed. We have this time of the Seven of Coins, which is evaluating again that this falling here may have been the result of this rebalancing, and also trying to verbally spar with people when it may not be doing much good. So this is perfect to just kind of pause and reevaluate. And then moving forward here, we have the sun. And the sun is, of course, sunny. It's bright outcome, looking much better. And notice he is moving forward to this, and his horse is kind of half moving and half standing still, moving slowly. This horse is moving on into this happiness. So under this very friendly and placid looking sun. Some eggs have been broken, probably by him. But that also implies that something has taken flight here. And again, a yellow sunflower is always a sign of joy in the cards. Dragonflies, remember, they eat mosquitoes, so they eat the things that are bothering you. So again, if we look at it, this way we're moving from this breakdown into a period of reevaluation and getting ready to move forward. So these cards are all looking forward here. So the Queen is looking forward to the creation of the birds and the fishes. So this is one of the biblical days of creation cards. And it's associated with protection. And this, we have, it looks like a peacock here and all different kinds of birds. And then we have the fish. So this is plenty. She's looking forward from this destruction. She's looking forward to a time of plenty, a time of relaxation. This time and this happiness, this period of pausing and reflecting. Now, again, notice the bird is looking backwards to these difficult days. And evaluating that, because evaluation of the past is part of this card. But this card then moves into this wonderful society. So society is what this card is about in this deck, and it's a social. It's basically the same as the Four of Wands in the Rider-Waite-Smith. It's social activities. But they're leading you right back into this darkness, this tower. I noticed yesterday there's a little fence behind this house, so this empty house is very fenced in. So it's a period of probably feeling more hemmed in than you are. It's not a collapse. This is just feeling locked in and wanting to fly, and perhaps even tempers flaring. And then with these four, as we move forward into this sunny day, we also have, this is le ciel, the sky. This is the card for the star in this deck. It's the closest thing that there is to the star. It's right there. The sky and the star. So again, it is that card of hope. So we're adding that to all of this happiness here. Happiness, sunniness, moving forward with hope, the creation of hope, things that help you create. Now let's look at these three in progression. We have this great creation, we have feeling hemmed in, and then hopefulness. So I think this is an interesting Tower card because that house isn't falling apart. It may just be abandoned, which means there's hope for these flowers to grow again, for your internal flowers to grow again from the inside. And this is adding to this hope coming up from underneath, from the ground beneath this. And what else is in the ground beneath? We have birds in the sky, as we have here, and fish in the sea. So we're having maybe desolation or depression, but things are okay. You have your periods of hope, and you have this, we have plenty. This is material plenty being provided for you. So one of the things that's been coming up in my readings a lot lately is, and I think it has to do with the bigger picture of what's going on in our country too, is that unlike our current administration, every day isn't high drama in your life. For most people, not those crazy people, but for most people, there are many, many days that are just another day where you have your ups and downs and you have your balances and your small destructions that don't change the outcome of having finished, and your repairs and your periods of evaluation, moving forward into happiness, using your creativity to move into more creativity, adding hope in a dark mood. That's life. That's kind of how we live regular periods of our life. We tend to be raised now in a culture of excitement, excitement, excitement. We've got these, phones in our hands, which provide us with a rush, a dopamine hit. And we have television shows that are, bombs and antagonism and fighting and romance and love. And very little of what is provided to us is really about how to handle the day-to-day normalcy with aplomb. And here we are. Here we are, the hermit, going deep inside, being aware that we have our own candle, being able to see light in the darkness, calming our own seas, calming our little alligators, taking nourishment, taking refreshment, appreciating the cool green ferns and the sparkling of the stars in the sky. These are things we have to do on our own. We have to take that time to replenish our internal self. And that helps us not only get through these times of stasis, but they prepare us. This time of evaluation and this together, these could be the reading. They kind of encapsulate it right there. These are all details, but these could be the reading in and of themselves. The Seven of Coins and the Hermit. This time of evaluation, and it has to be a deep internal evaluation without the input of other people. It has to be between you and your God and your highest self. And that's quite a lot for a Saturday, but Saturday is a great day for that. The weekend is a great time for this, for taking that step back and taking that step inside. This is Kara from Kara Tarot. Thank you for spending time with me.